Yo, what is good? My anime pick. What is good, yo? So, we are in a position where we now are, showing Accelerator being who he really is. The monster that he truly is. And seeing this is getting more and more terrifying when people are not intelligent enough to keep certain aspects of, you know, things to themselves. There's just certain things you shouldn't be saying, and because of that, these people really did wind up losing, their lives relatively quickly. And because of that, it's easy to say Accelerator is one of the most dopest characters they could have done a spinoff for, and I'm really happy that they actually did it. Not only did I enjoy this character in his, you his original series where he came from, but to see him trying to cut loose, or like the show allowing him to, you know, reach into that darker side, look a little bit even almost even crazier than he already has, stuff like that. It made me optimistic of what we could get for this, but it makes sense why he's fighting, robots instead of always fighting like humans and stuff like that, because it's just not in his nature to hold back against them. It's not in his nature to be like, oh, these guys are human, so I should not kill them. When we first met him, like when we first knew who he was and what he was about, that just seemed like one of the things you could not put past him, is that anybody who got in his way, anybody that made him mad, was probably going to suffer badly for it. And that's still seems to be, the case today when it comes down to people who are pushing, the limits of how much they can say, and, how much they're going to continuously say. It's almost as if he does have the most, control over all these battles, though, because like we noticed, or like the Necromancer noticed this week, is there was no one actually, more injured than, the person who, soon as Accelerator shows up, he doesn't go in for the kill. He doesn't absolutely just start taking out people's heads and stuff like that. It puts in this perspective of, he did all this stuff and said all this stuff, but at the end of the day, what did he actually do? What did he actually wind up accomplishing while talking the way he did? Is literally, he literally accomplishes that he doesn't need any of that type of stuff to, really beat or destroy many people in this world, because not only does he, like, flick them in the forehead and stuff like that, he holds back the whole time against them. And like I was saying, seeing him coming forward and wanting to absolutely smash someone's, like, everything in, it made perfect sense to me why we were looking at a character like this and being completely, like, he's being honest, like he does want to do all those things, but he never ends up doing it, like, oh, I'm gonna rip out your bones and do this and that, like, he's never actually shown to do these things. And the reason why he doesn't do it is because it just sounds better on paper when he says it, like, it's like, I sound way cooler and way more crazier if I just say all this wild stuff, even if I don't mean it, even if I can't follow through with it, I'm gonna say it. And that's what I admired about, like, this week's episode, this choice of making him a character in general, because if you really think about it, these characters nowadays, like, they either are good or they are bad, and there's not a lot of characters that really come out that are like the Venoms and the Hisoka, kind of. But there's a lot of characters out there that just don't really have this end game goal like most people do when it comes down to, oh, I want to live my life to this point, get a wife, kids, blah blah blah. Or, you know, vice versa for a villain, I want to be able to take over the world by this point in my life, and if I got to take out everybody in my way to get to it, I'm gonna do that. So that was kind of where I was like, all right, so that's envelope and see where Accelerator's, you know, overall mindset would start to wind up. But at the end of the day, we really just see this kid who is really trying to act like an adult and, you know, say these really mean and harsh things all the time because he's trying to pretty much save face every single time that he's, you know, gotten to this point of, you know, oh, I hate you and I want to destroy this and I want to destroy that. But then all of a sudden, once he really, you know, chills out, starts seeing people that he doesn't want to destroy, none of that like laughing and sadistic stuff comes out until maybe you make him a little bit too angry. But they should have learned not to push someone like him into a situation that he might not be comfortable with, which, guess how that ends? Getting blasted. Getting absolutely slapped back. So, like I was saying with the Accelerator's character, there hasn't been a lot of, you know, big changes besides the fact that he doesn't really kill anymore, that he doesn't really see the need to be that crazy evil person he was to everybody, but to more or less use it against the people that seemingly deserve it. So regardless of that, I can't wait to see what they do overall. I mean, this show has been showing me quite a bit of how just the potential of every character that shows up in any show. Not only the potential, but if you champion a character, do it. Like, enjoy him the way that you are seeing him being enjoyed. And because of that, stuff like this might happen. Or regardless of, you know, your champion of this character, there might already been in the works to have, you know, some type of relationship with this character outside of his own thing, like a spin-off or such. So really interested to see what you guys are feeling on this series or just the show as a whole. Did you enjoy this week's episode? Did it do anything for you? Did it make you feel like it was doing anything bad? Like, what's your guys' take on this? Because as of right now, I'm pretty happy with what we gotten so far. And to think that this show is still kind of just hitting its, you know, his swings and stuff, it feels like there's a potential for a lot more that we haven't even got to really dive into, which I'm really happy that it feels that way. You know, it doesn't feel like we've gotten way too far and it's going to end. And with the fandom of the people who came by and already given me like a hint of what's to come, or in the case of, you know, there's enough source material for them to continue to make this. You know, there's no seemingly stop in sight because of some unseen, you know, grind of the TV show going too quickly and getting too fast with source material. So I hope we do get a lot, and I hope it's actually really well done. So with all that being said, I hope you guys have an amazing day, night, evening, whatever the case may be. I am your boy, the Anime G, and I'll definitely talk to you guys tomorrow, because it's a whole new day of amazing shows coming out. So can't wait to talk to you guys about it, and have an amazing one, and peace.